Here we go, June 2012, calculator paper 2, yay. Andy, good old Andy, thinks of a number. Let's go crazy, let's call it x. He multiplies it by 4, he then subtracts 6, and his answer is 7.2. Alright, so set yourself up in a bit of algebra. Then we can add 6 to both sides, 13.2, so x is going to be 13.2 divided by 4, which is, calculator out, 3.3. So Andy's number was 3.3. Check it. 3.3 multiplied by 4 is 12, 13.2, subtract 6, 7.2. Yep, that's correct. Ellie drives 169 miles from Sheffield to London. She drives at an average speed of 65 miles per hour. She leaves Sheffield at 6:30. Does she arrive before 9 o'clock? Okay, so we need to know the time taken. So speed equals distance divided by time is our triangle. If we cover up that, then time is distance divided by speed. Time equals distance divided by speed. So 169 divided by 65 is 2.6 hours. Right, now we've just got to be careful. What is that in terms of minutes? Well, 0.6 times 60 is 36 minutes. So 2.6 hours is going to be 2 hours and 36 minutes. Alright, so finally she left at 6:30. So I would say, well, 6:30 plus 2 hours will be 8:30, then 8:30 plus 36 minutes is going to be 9:06 AM, which is kind of saying that she didn't make it in time. So does she arrive before 9 o'clock? No, she doesn't. No, she arrives 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Alright, 4 marks for that. Take your time, step by step, and work your way through it. Number 3, P, Q and RS are parallel to each other, like so. Write down the value of x, give a reason for your answer. There's a star there as well, so definitely need to give a reason for our answer. So, x, let's draw it on. There's our transversal. That's awful, let's try that again. There's a transversal. Our line's coming off it, making an F shape, which means that x is going to equal 147 degrees. Unfortunately, we can't say it's an F angle or a fangle. We have to give it its proper name, which is a corresponding angles are equal. Okay, now for B, write down the value of y, give a reason for your answer. Same sort of thing, really, apart from this time, let's go for green. There's our transversal, there's our parallel line, not very well drawn, there's our other parallel line, and so we've got a z there, which means that y is 147, because it's a zangle. 147, proper name for a zangle though is an alternate. Angles are equal. Okay, so fangles are corresponding, zangles are alternate. Number 4. Ben sees these adverts to hire the same car. He wants to hire the car for 10 days and will drive for 600 miles. Should he choose hire deal or best cars? I like these 6 marks. You just got to work through them step by step. Let's start with hire deal. So, hire deal, no charge for mileage, you can drive as far as he wants, £70 each day, and then you get a third off of that. Okay, so let's do a third of £78 first of all. Well, that is 78 divided by 3, which is, calculator out, £26. So he gets £26 off per day, so 78 minus 26 is £52 per day. 10 days hire is then going to be 10 times £52, which is 520 squiddlies. So that's hire deal. Now let's have a look at best cars. I'll do that on the bottom here. Right, so best cars are £36 each day, 15 pence per mile. Prices exclude VAT, which is 20%. Right, so this is the one where you're going to get all your marks. First of all, 36 times 10 equals £360, and 15 times 600 miles is going to be 15 times 600 on the calculator is 9,000 pence, which is £90. So that's that so far. Total cost so far equals 360 plus 90, which is £450 so far. I'm going to move that there instead, so that's that. Okay, so now we need to add on the VAT. So VAT is 20%. So if I'm going to add 20% onto that, then I'm going to times it by 1.2. Yes, VAT is 20%, so total cost equals the amount before VAT times by 1.20. I guess you could work out what 20% of that is and then add it on instead. It would give you the same answer. If I want to calculate, it's 450 times 1.20 is £540. Alright, so you could have worked out 20% of that, 10% is £45, 20% is £90, added it on is £540. That's fine, however you want to do it. So now, who is cheaper? Should he choose hire car, best car deals? Best cars are cheaper by 20 quid. And then we're done. Number 5, algebra. I honestly think these are easy marks to pick up. You've just got to take your time not to make mistakes. So what does that mean? It means we do 3n plus 8 in the bracket and then we times it by 15. So 15 times by 3n plus 8. Well, if n is 13, 3n is 39 plus 8. So that is 15 times by 39 at 8 is 47. And on a calculator it's 15 times 47 is 705. And there's our answer, 705. Alright, so ABCD is a quadrilateral. Work out the value of x. We're talking about angles. And angles in a quadrilateral we should know add up to 360 degrees. So our first job is to set up an equation. So if I add them together, so I've got x plus 16 is 1, I've got 118 as 1, 134 is 1 and x is 1. I know if I add them all together, I've got 360 degrees. So I put them together now. How many x's have I got? I've got 2x. I've got 118, 134 and 16. So calculator, just to check, is 268. Okay, so I put them together and put my x together. So now if I take 268 off of this, then I get my 360. 360 minus 268 is going to be 92. So x is going to be half of 92. 92 divided by 2, which is 46 degrees. Job's a good one. 6b. Is BC parallel to AD? Give a reason for your answer. Right, that's for. I'm going to work out A equals, well, that's 46 plus 16, which is 62. I'm going to work out B. Well, B is 118. I'm going to work out C. C is 134. I'm going to work out D, or D is X, which is 46. So there are my angles, like so. Okay, now if these two lines are parallel, BC and AD are parallel to each other, then the two angles between them must add up to 180. Okay, the reason is because it's called supplementary angles. Supplementary angles means that if we've got ourselves two parallel lines and a line going between them, then the two angles in between them add up to 180 degrees. Okay, now that's only if these are parallel to each other. So if these two add up to 180 and them two add up to 180, then these two lines must be parallel to each other. So we can check that. Is BC parallel to AD? Yes, because 62 add 118 equals 180, and 134 add 46 equals 180. Supplement angles are equal. So something along those lines. It's going to give you the mark. Question 7. This question seems to come up a lot. What is the area of the triangle? Give your answer to one decimal place. And they've given us a centimetre squared. Straight away I'm looking for that and thinking, what's area? Have they given us the units? They have, so I don't get a point for it on that one. Area of a triangle then, there's lots of trig rules to work it out, but essentially the easiest rule is that area equals half times base times height. So for us, the area is a half times the base is 9.5 times the height, which is 7.3. So if I whack that into my calculator, then you get your answers being 34.675. And it asks for it to one decimal place. So again, make sure you answer the question fully. 34.7 centimetres squared to one decimal place. Job's a good one. 3 marks. I think that's a gimme. Number 8. Solve. Yay, algebra. Now, you could divide by 4 and get 3x minus 7 equals 20, but I always go with the fact that when there's a bracket, I want to get rid of it. So 12x minus 28 is going to equal 20. Next line, if I add 28 onto here and add 28 onto there, I'm going to get 12x equals 48. And now if I divide by 12, I'm going to get x equal to 4. And that will be my answer. X equals 4. Number 9. A door lock. The code number, letter, number is entered by pressing a button from each row in turn. Middle row, bottom row. She knows it begins with 1, she presses 1 and then chooses random. So essentially we ignore these, we know it's either one of these. So I'm making a list of all the things you could get. It could be a 3, it could be a 4, it could be B3, it could be B4, it could be C3, it could be C4. They are all the options that it could be. I'll work out the probability she enters the correct code, while only one of them is correct. So that's 1 out of 6 possible options are correct. Use trial and improvement to find a solution to the equation x cubed minus 3x equals 45. Okay, so I've got your table set up for you. I've done x is 3 until that's too small, so we're going to try x is 4. And we're going to do 4 cubed minus 3 lots of 4. So, calculate a job, 4 cubed is that, minus 3 lots of 4, so minus 12, it's going to give us 52. Too big, too small? Well, our target's 45, so we are too big. Good news, so far, so we're between 3 and 4. So now we need to get between 2 one decimal places. I mean, for me, the central place to go will be 3.5. And try 3.5 in. Okay, so 3.5 cubed minus 3 lots of 3.5. 3.5 cubed minus 3 lots of 3.5. It's going to give you 32.375. Too big, too small. That's too small. Our target's 45. So that is definitely too small. So 3.5 is too small, let's go 3.6. Into it. 3.6 cubed. Minus 3 lots of 3.6 is 35.856. Now I wouldn't be rounding at this point, I'll be leaving that to be the whole number. There's no point rounding it. That's too small. So we try 3.7. Give that a whirl. 3.7 cubed. Minus 3 lots of 3.7 is 39.553. We're still too small. We'll go 3.8. 3.8 cubed minus 3 lots of 3.8 is going to be 3.472. We're getting closer, but we're still too small. A little bit annoying now because we kind of know that 3.9 is going to be too big. You can sort of see that, but it's a calculation that's worth doing. 3.9 times 3.9, 3.9, 3 lots of that is going to be 47.619. And finally we've got one which is too big. Okay, so that'll get you 3 marks so far. To get the last mark, one decimal place, which one is it closer to? 45. Which one is it closer to? We can't tell from this at all. What we know is that if there's our number, and 3.7, so we've got a number line, and we know 3.7 is too small, and 3.8 is too big. Small, big. Alright, now it's closer to one of these than it is to the other one. How are we going to work out which ones are closer to? Well, we're going to work out what 3.75 is. We're going to do the halfway bit and see which one is it closer to. when you put 3.75 in and cube it, minus 3 lots of it, then you get to that, which is too small. So 3.75 is too small. So at this point, I know that 3.7 is too small and 3.8 is too big. I also know this is too small, so my answer must be somewhere in this section here. So which one of my two answers is it close to? Is it close to 3.7 or is it closer to 3.8? Well, it's going to be closer to 3.8 because it's in this section here. So our answer is 3.8. Excellent news. Work out the length of AC. Boom. So trigonometry or Pythagoras, so we've got two sides. So it's going to be Pythagoras. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Is our rule. Worth making a note of that. So for us, A is 31, B is 23, or the other way around, and that equals c squared. What is 31 squared? 961. 23 squared is 529. Add them together, and we get 1490 equals c squared. So finally, to finish off, c is equal to the square root of 1490. So c is equal to square root 1490, which is 38.600518113, which equals 38.6 centimetres to 3 significant figures, or one decimal place, whatever you fancy. And we're there. Number 12. A gym owner wants to know the number of hours that people exercise. Write a question they can use in a survey. Include a response section. It's like a tick box section. So questions, obviously it might be slightly different to this, but something along the lines of many hours exercise do you do per week? Do you do per week? Do you do on average each week? I think it's probably worth putting in there. Okay, so there's this question. Now response sections. So we could have 0 hours. We could have not less than less than 2 hours, and that needs to be equals to we could go 2 hours to 4 hours, we could go 4 hours to 6 hours, or we can say more than 6 hours. There we go. Alright, no, you could do a slightly different to that. Of course you can. But something along those lines. The key to it is writing a good question. I'll give you 1 mark. And the other bit is making sure there's no overlaps on your option blocks, on your response sections. So you can see, hopefully, that if you're 0 hours, you tick that one. If you're 2 hours, then you tick this one, not this one because it's not equal to. If you're 4 hours, you tick this one, not that one because you're not equal to. 6 hours, you tick this one because this one is more than 6 hours. Then more than 6 hours is there. Okay, so just make sure your response sections don't overlap, so that people know exactly which one to tick for the amount of time that they've done. solve the inequality 3x minus 5 is less than or equal to 16. Cool. So just treat this like an equation. We've got 3x minus 5. I'm going to get my sign in. Where's my little symbol? Greater than 16. So I get rid of this by adding 5 to that side. Then I add 5 to the other side as well. I get 3x is greater than 21. And so x is greater than 7. By then dividing by 3. And there's your answer, x is greater than 7. So essentially just treat it like an equal sign and just make sure that you've got your symbol in there, stays the same all the way through it. B. The values minus 1, 0, 1, 2 and 3 satisfy one of the inequalities below. Which one? Okay, so this number here, well, minus 2 is too small. 2y. So then that's the same as minus 1 less than y. Wrong one. Less than 3. So I divide everything by 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. So then this numbers are, well, minus 1 is bigger than minus 1. So it could be 0, it could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3. So that's no good. Do not like that one. No good. This one. That's a bit annoying. This one here then, if we divide that by 2, you'll get minus 1. Okay. Okay, so divide by 2, you get minus 1 less than or equal to y, less than or equal to 3. Now this could include minus 1 in our answer, so it's minus 1, 0, 1, 2 and 3. Yay, we've got ourselves a winner. That's your 1, because that's the same numbers. And just to check on this one, so if we divide everything by 2 on this one, then we get that there, minus 1 on that, so that could be minus 1, could be 0, 1 or 2, but it can't be 3. So that one there is a big no-go. No good. So your answer is minus 2, less than or equal to 2y, less than or equal to 6 is the winner. Frequency polygon. People always forget how to do frequency polygons. They're not too tricky. The key is just remembering the midpoint. So you're going to plot the midpoint of each width to the frequency. Okay, so the midpoint of that is 25, and against that you plot the number 4. 25 and the number 4 is there. Midpoint is 35, the number is 8. Midpoint is 35, the number is 8. Midpoint is 45, the number is 17. Right up top there. And midpoint is 55, and the number frequency is 12. So we've done that, and now we'll do is we now join together your points. Straight line, bosh, bosh, bosh. Okay, and there's our frequency polygon done. Number 15. The diagram shows a triangle ABC. AB is equal to AC. That length and that length are the same. Show that the triangle is equilateral. Okay, so it's a bit tricky, but because them lengths are the same, it's telling us that 5w and 3w plus 3 are the same as each other. So now if I take off the 3w from this side and from the other side, I get 2w equals 3, which means w equals half of 3, which is 1.5. Okay, so that's the important thing, because now I've got something to work with. I've got myself on w equals 1.5. So I'll plug that into each of them. AB equals 5 times 1.5, which is 7.5 centimeters. AC equals 3 times 1.5 plus 3. 3 times 1.5 is 3 is 4.5, add 3 is 7.5 centimeters. You can see how this is going. And BC is 1.5 plus 6, which is 7.5 centimetres. I think that's probably enough to get the mark, to be honest, with showing they're all equal, but I don't think it would hurt. How many marks do we have? No, it doesn't say. I think a little sentence to say all sides are equal in length, and so the triangle is an equilateral. It's probably worth adding that onto the bottom there. Winner 16. Here is a pattern for the numbers 1, 8 and 17, 1 cubed. So they're cubing their numbers, and then they're adding together the digits and showing that the digits are equal to the number they started with. Find a number between 25 and 30 that follows this pattern. Well, I don't know, but I think I'm just going to whack these into a calculator and see what I get. What is 25 cubed? 25 cubed is 15625, and 1, add 5, add 6, add 2, add 5 is equal to 6, 11, 12, 14, 19. So that is not a winner. Mummy will. Alright, so that's that one. 26 cubed then. 26 times 26 times 26 is equals 17576. So now if I add them together, 1 add 7 add 5 add 7 add 6 is 7, 14, 20, 25, 26. Yay! There you go, 26 follows the pattern. Winner. Happy with that, didn't take long. And we can carry on trying the others. Probably worth, that's the sort of thing that is worth checking afterwards if you've got time. Alright, and just checking through. It's 2 marks, you know, you've done enough to get you 2 marks, but you have time at the end to check the others and check that there's not a mistake there, and just check the through. Alright, but 26, winner. A car is advertised for £3,000. The car will be in a sale next month. Tom can afford £2,500. By what percentage will the price have to be reduced so he can afford the car? Okay, so to work out a percentage decrease, we do the actual decrease divide the original amount. So for him, for Tom here, the percentage decrease, the actual decrease, 500 divided by the original amount, 3,000, and then times 100. I missed that important bit off the end there, times 100, because it's a percentage. So now on the calculators, 500 divide 3,000, and then times 100 is going to be 16.666666%. I'll need to do a recurring here really, but I don't know how to do a recurring on here. I guess I'll put a little dot above it, 16.6 recurring %. Okay, there's our answer. The diagram shows a semicircular shape. Circle the correct expression for the perimeter of this shape. Right, well, first of all, get the rules down. Circumference is pi times diameter, and the diameter in this one is 2 times the radius. So the circumference is going to be pi times 2r. Well, let's write that as 2r pi instead. Now we've only got half of it. So semicircle length is going to be half of that, which is going to be pi times the radius. So that's that. So the distance around there, the arch bit, is pi times the radius, and then we've got 2 radiuses in the middle. So pi times the radius plus 2 radiuses in the middle is going to be pi r plus 2r. Winner. Perimeter of the shape is 11.6. Calculate r, give your answer a suitable degree of accuracy. 4 marks. So, pi r plus 2r, because that's our rule, is 11.6. Now we need to get to r. So the key to this is spotting that there's r in both of these. So I can factorise this by taking an r out of them. Okay, so then that's pi r and that's 2r is 11.6. So now I can get my r by doing 11.6 divided by pi plus 2. Because if I divide by this, then I'm going to be left with just the r. So give your answer a suitable degree of accuracy. Well, the question's to 1 decimal place, so I'll probably do the same thing. So first job is 11.6 divided by pi plus 2 is going to be 2.256110272. So I would say that is 2.26 or 2.3. I think you probably get the marks either way on that one. I'll go 2.26 to 3 significant figures. But 2.3 I think to 1 decimal place would be fine as well. Alright, next one, 19. Box plots. So, box plots. Your lower quartile and your upper quartile make your box up. So we'll put it here. 250 to 390 is there. Your median is 310 is there. And then your maximum and your minimum. So 470 is there. Here's your maximum, and your minimum is 210. It's going to be there. Okay, so an extra 10 grams of sugar is added to each of the bags. Well, that's going to make everything move up 10 grams. So, take the correct box to the range. Well, the range will be the same. The lowest would be 10 more, and the highest would be 10 more, so the range would be the same. So, that would be no change. The median will move 10 up, so that will increase by 10. And the low quartile will move 10 up, so that will be an increase by 10. And there's your answers. How are we doing? Getting there. Complete the table of values for y equals 2x squared minus 3. So I will start with the positive side here. And we do remember squared first, so 2 squared is 4, times 2 is 8, minus 3 is 5. So that's 5. And the good thing with these is there's normally some symmetry going on, so it's 5 there, means there'll probably be minus 1 here. We'll do the 0 first. 0 squared is nothing, times 2 is nothing. Take away 3 is minus 3. Now minus 1 squared is 1, times 2 is 2, minus 3 is minus 1. And you know you've got it right if you can see some sort of mirror going on there, some sort of pattern. Now plotting the points. Now they haven't given you the axis, so I've drawn the axis on as best I can. And you've got yourself minus 2 to 2 on your x direction, minus 2 up to 2, make sure they're evenly spaced, and then 5 down to minus 3 in the y direction. Again, make sure they're evenly spaced all the way down. So 2 goes against 5, 1 along and 1 down, 0 along and 3 down, 1 minus 1 along and 1 down, and finally minus 2 along and 5 up. It's going to be there. Now, don't dot to dot these, you need a nice arch that goes through them all. I'm going to struggle to do mine. That's it. No, that's not going to work. I'll try and do it with a pen. So nice curve, smooth curve through there and back up to the top. We've got there. I've not done mine too well, but hopefully you'll get a nice U shape going on there. I'll be your winner. 21. Aiming Kate each catch 3 fish. The weight of each fish to the nearest tenth of a kilogram is shown. Kate says that the total weight of a fish is more than the total weight of Amy's fish. Show that this could be true. So if Kate is more, then we need to take the upper bounds of Kate's and the lower bounds of Amy's and see whether they could be more. So Kate's maximum, it could be 8.25 plus 3.45 plus 4.55, which is 8.25 plus 3.45 plus 4.55, 16.25 kilograms, and Amy's minimum is 6.75 plus 4.25 plus 5.15. 6.75 plus 4.25 plus 5.15 is 16.15 kilograms. So it is possible for Kate's fish to weigh more in total than Amy's. Marks for that one. Number 22. Work out the area of the trapezium ABDE. Okay, so essentially we've got ourselves 2 triangles. 1 and 2. And we need to find a way of timesing ourselves up from there. So the scale factor is going to be 12. Divided by 8. So 12 divided by 8, I think is 1.5. So there's my scale factor, it's 1.5. So now I can get some measurements on. I know that's 11. I know that's 8. I know that's 12. I know that distance along there is going to be 11 times 1.5, which is 16.5 along the bottom there. So finally, our trapezium, oops, lazy. So our trapezium then like that, and I know that this length is 8. I know that length is 12, and the key bit is this length here. Well, it's 16.5 all the way from E to C, and D to E is 11. So that length is 5.5. So I've got myself my trapezium, and now to do the area, and the rule I'm pretty sure is given at the front of the exam paper, is you add together your parallel sides, so 12 plus 8 times the distance between them, and you have it. So for us that's going to be 20 times 5.5, which is 110, and then halved is 55 centimetres squared. Winner. It's a good question, that one. I like that. Hopefully that makes sense. Number 23. 2 ordinary fair dice are thrown. One dice throws a number greater than 3, the other dice shows a number less than 3. Put these statements in order, starting with the least likely. Okay, so both being an even number, even times probability even. So to work out a probability, we do the dice 1 even times dice 2 even. Well, one dice is a number greater than 3, so 4 and 6 are both bigger, so that's 2 out of 3 are even. And on dice 2 it's less than that, so it's just a number less than 3, so it's 1 or 2. So that's 50-50, a half. So if we multiply the top ones together, we get 2 times 1 is 2, and the bottom ones together, 3 times 2 is 6. 2 6, which is a third. So probability of A happening is a third. Right, probably both dice show an odd number, so dice 1 being odd, dice 2 being odd. Now dice 1, we've got the numbers 4, 5 and 6, only 1 out of the 3 are odd, and we've got 1 and 2, so 1 out of the 2, or half of them, are odd. Now times them, 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 3 is 6, so probably that is 1 out of 6. Right, one dice shows an odd number and the other shows an even. So, this one's going to take a bit of working out, so we could have dice 1 even, dice 2 odd, or we could have dice 1 odd, dice 2 even. So dice 1 even, well, that's 2 out of 3 of them, and 1 out of 2 are odd, so that is 2 out of 6, which is a third. Dice 1 odd is 1 out of 3, times by 1 out of 2 odd ones for dice 2 is going to give me 1 out of 6. So, probability of this event C happening then is add them two together, 2 6 plus 1 6 equals 3 6. There's our answer. Okay, it's probably easier if I didn't simplify that one there, because then we can compare them a lot easier. So I'm going to get my rubber out and delete that one. There we go. So now put them in order, starting with the least likely. So the least likely then is your 1 out of 6 one, which is B. Your next least likely is your 2 out of 6, which is A, and your most likely is C, because that's 3. 6 is the probability that happen altogether. B, A, C. Again, I'm sure there's different ways of doing that with tree diagrams or something like that, but that's the way I'd do it. 3 marks. Alright, next one, expand and simplify. So, 3x times 2x, well 3 times 2 is 6, and x times x is x squared. And then 3x times minus 5y, well that's minus 15xy. Then the middle one's y times 2x, that's 2xy, and the last one's y times minus 5y is minus 5y squared. So that's that. The only thing we can now do is simplifying it slightly. We've got 6x squared and none else, and we've got minus 5y squared at the end there and none else. The bit we can simplify is that there. Minus 15xy plus 2xy, or minus 15 plus 2 is minus 13. So it's minus 13xy will be your answer. 25. Solve the quadratic equation. Now there's a sort of sign here. I know I've sort of given clues on here already, but if the question says give your answer to 2 decimal places, it means we can't factorise it, so we're going to have to use quadratic formula, which is given to you on the front of the book. Okay, so there's your quadratic formula. X equals minus b plus or minus b squared minus 5c all over 2a. And now what we do is we just swap them over. We just substitute. So, see if I can just get this to work. Right then, so I'm going to take off my b, I'm going to swap it for my b number. My b number is the number 2. So my b swaps out for the number 2, and my b here swaps out for the number 2. Then I've got 4 times a times c. Well, a is 6. So, times 6, and then c is minus 5. So this ends up 4ac becomes 4 times 6 times minus 5. And then finally 2a, 2 lots of 6. So I can plug all my numbers in and just swap them all over. Okay, next job then is to try and actually make sense of it. Minus 2, not going to do anything with that yet. Let's leave that how it is. Plus and minus stays the same. Now the square root of 2 squared is 4, minus, and then 4 times 6 is 24, times 5, 4 times 6 times 5 is 120, and there's a minus there, so it's minus 120. And 2 times 6 is 12. So I get to that. And then the next step is to work that out. Well, 4 minus 120 is 4 plus 120, which is 124. So I get to that there. Okay, and now on our calculators, we're now going to do the work. So minus 2 plus square root of 124 divided by 12 is 0.7612946. Or if I take it away, so minus 2 take away square root of 124 divided by 12, my answer is minus 1.092739. So there are 2 answers, and they want them to 2 decimal places. So x equals 0.76 or x equals minus 1.09. There we have it. There's your answer. I'm not 100% sure I made a mistake on that, moving things around, but I think I'm there. Feel free to come and find me if I've got it wrong. 26. Yeah, I'm going to have a look at number 26 in my own time, so I'm going to miss number 26 out. Now we go at 27. Prove that 3n minus 1 over n minus 3n plus 1 over n minus 2 is equal, or is equivalent to 2 minus 8n n minus 2. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to try and work out this algebraic fraction here, and hopefully we're going to get to that answer that we've got over there. So, to do that, let's just make a note of it first. To do that, we want to multiply both of these, so we want to make these the same on the bottom. So if I multiply this by n minus 2, then I have to do the same to the top. So I do the same to the top and bottom, just like you would do with fractions normally. And same in this one, if I want to make that n on the bottom, then I've got to multiply it top and bottom by the same thing. So I can get to that. Now, if the denominators are the same, then we can just add or subtract the top ones together. So actually, that becomes that. Like so. So now if I expand this bracket out, 3n times n is 3n squared minus n minus 6n plus 2. And if I expand the other bracket out, then I've got 3n squared minus n. And that's all over n minus 2. Okay, so I've got that there. That should be all over, like so. Like so. So now we can cancel things off. I've got 3n squared, and I'm taking 3n squared off there. And I've got minus n minus 6n minus n, so that's going to be minus 8n. So on the top, I've got 2 minus 8n, and on the bottom, I've got n minus 2. And that there is what we're after, because that's what the question asked us to find, that is equal to that. Okay, so again, I'll go through that bit by bit. This fraction here we times by n minus 2 on the bottom, and then the same on the top. This fraction here times by n on the bottom and the same on the top, so we end up with this line here. Now expanding brackets. Oh no, sorry, now the denominators are the same, so we can combine the two together. So the top line we combine together over that, and then we expand brackets. We expand the brackets on this one to get to this 3n minus 6n plus 2. Expand the brackets on this, 3n squared minus n, and then simplifying it, we get to the answer which they gave us in the first place. Right, last question. A bag contains 4 blue, 4 red and 4 white counters. A counter is chosen at random without replacement. What is the probability the counters are different colours? Okay, so I've set myself up a tree diagram. The probability of getting all the colours on the first go is 4 12s, because there's 4 out of 12 of each colour. Now if I pick a blue one the first time round, there are 3 blues left out of 11 altogether. And red is 4 out of 11, and white is 4 left out of 11. If I pick a red first time, then I've got 4 out of 11 blues, 3 out of 11 reds, and 4 out of 11 whites. And if I pick a white one first time, I've got 4 out of 11 blues, 4 out of 11 reds, and 3 out of 11 whites. So I'm going to work each of these out, I think in order. So 4 12s times 3 12s is going to give me 12 over 121. And blue then red is going to be 16 out of 121. And blue followed by white is going to be 16 out of 121. For that one. And then for the next one, a red followed by red will be 16 out of 121. And 12 out of 121. And 16 out of 121. And finally white followed by blue is going to be 16 out of 121. White followed by red will be 16 out of 121. And white followed by white will be 12. So now I've done the hard work. It's just a case of pulling off the numbers that you need. We are looking for different colours. So we can't have blue and blue. Highlights actually. Let's put a smiley face by each one. So blue and blue is no good, but blue and red is fine, and blue and white is fine. Red and blue is fine, red and red's no good, but red and white is fine. White and blue is fine, white and red is fine, but white and white is no good. So I'm going to add together each of those ones with the smiley face next to them. 16, add 16 is 32, add 16 is 48, add 16 is 64, add 16 is 80, add 16 is 96. 96 out of 121 is our answer. Right, I'm going to have another look at 26 in a little while, and hopefully that makes sense. A couple of them algebra ones are quite difficult to do on a computer, so any questions, again, come and ask me, or go and ask your maths teacher, and they will sort it out for you, I'm sure.